Welcome to my video on solving two-step equations. We've just taken notes in our ISN on how to solve two-step equations, but there are lots of different types of equations, so I wanted to make sure we went through just a few more examples together. So follow along with me while I do these examples and explain what I'm doing. Feel free to pause, try the problem yourself, and then check to see if you're correct. I'm going to go pretty quickly, so if I'm going too fast for you, feel free to pause and then resume as soon as you're ready. Number one, looking at what's happening to x, I have 5 times x plus 5. So I'm going to draw my line through my equal sign to divide both sides of the equation. I'm going to look on the side with x, and I'm going to start with the constant term, which is the plus 5. Since they're adding 5, I'm going to do the inverse and subtract 5. I'm going to do that on both sides of the equal sign, so on both sides of the vertical line that I drew, and then I'm going to simplify. On the left side, plus 5 and minus 5 cancel out, that's 0, so I'm left with just 5x, equals, on the right side, 25 minus 5 is 20, so 5x equals 20. Next, I look at x and I say what's happening to x. 5 is being multiplied by x. I know to undo multiplication, I'm going to do division. So I'm going to divide by 5 on both sides. Got to keep my equation balanced. And I'm going to simplify. 5 divided by 5 is 1, so I'm left with 1x equals 20 divided by 5, which is 4. So my solution to this equation is x equals 4. Moving on to number 2. I'm going to divide my equation with a vertical line so I can keep my equal sign in order. Looking at the side that has x, we have 3x minus 10. So again, I'm looking at my constant first, which is the minus 10. They're subtracting 10. I'm going to add 10 to cancel that out. I'm going to add 10 on the other side to keep my equation balanced. And I'm going to kind of simplify what I have now. Negative 10 and positive 10 are going to cancel out. I'll have just 3x left on that side, equals negative 67 plus 10, which is negative 57. So my equation now is 3x equals negative 57. I look at the x, what's happening to x? 3 times x. In order to undo multiplication, I do division. So I'm going to divide both sides. I'm going to divide it by 3 because 3 is the coefficient of x. So whatever is in front of the x is what I'm going to divide by. So 3 divided by 3 is 1, so I have 1x equals negative 57 divided by 3. I'm going to type that into my calculator. And I get 16, negative 16, because it's negative 57 divided by 3, so x equals negative 16, and that is my solution to this equation. Okay, moving on to number 3. M divided by 2 minus 6 equals negative 8. I am going to, again, draw my vertical line to divide both sides of my equation. Looking at the side with the variable, m is being divided by 2, then subtracted 6. That 6 is the constant, so I'm going to focus on that first. It's subtracting 6, so I'm going to add 6 on both sides of the equal sign to keep it balanced. Negative 6 and positive 6 cancel out. I'm left with just m divided by 2 equals, on the right side, I have negative 8 plus 6, which is negative 2. So m divided by 2 equals negative 2. M divided by 2, I'm going to undo the division by multiplying, so I'm going to times 2 on both sides. On the left side, my times 2 and my divided by 2 cancel each other out, and I'm left with just 1m equals negative 2 times 2 is negative 4, so m equals negative 4 for this equation. That is my solution. Number 4. Divide my equation, look for my x. This time the x term is second, so I'm going to focus on what's the number that's by itself, which is the negative 2 at the start. They have a negative 2 as a constant, so I'm going to add 2 to cancel it out. I'm going to add 2 on the other side where the 8 is also to keep it balanced. My negative 2 and my positive 2 cancel out, and I'm left with negative 2x equals 8 plus 2, which is 10. I have a negative 2 in front of the x. That's my coefficient. That's what's being multiplied by x. So to undo multiplication, I'm going to divide. Divide by negative 2. on both sides to keep it balanced. Keep in mind that if the coefficient has a negative sign, that negative goes with the 2, and I have to divide by negative 2. So negative 2 divided by negative 2 is 1, so I'm left with just 1x on that side, equals 10 divided by negative 2, which is negative 5. So x equals negative 5 is our solution. Okay, on to number 5. 5 equals n divided by 9 plus 6. I'm going to go ahead and draw in my center line there. And n is on the right side. So we have n divided by 9 plus 6. The constant plus 6 is what I'm going to focus on. Undoing that first, it's adding 6, so I'm going to subtract 6 on both sides. 5 minus 6 is negative 1 equals n divided by 9. This positive 6 and negative 6 will cancel out. Now I have n being divided by 9. I need to multiply by 9 so that I can cancel that out. And then I'm going to multiply by 9 on the other side as well. 9 times negative 1 is negative 9 equals n. So that's our solution. N is equal to negative 9. Number 6. 49 equals 9 minus 10x. So 10, x is on the right-hand side. We've got 9 minus 10x, so the 9 is the constant. That's the term without the x in it. So it's a positive 9 because there's no sign in front of it. If it was a negative 9, I'd see a minus sign in front of it. And when I say in front of it, I do mean to the left of it, as I'm reading left to right. So it's a positive 9. I'm going to subtract 9 in order to undo the operation there. So 49 minus 9 is going to be 40. That's going to be equal to, well, 9 and negative 9 cancel out, so equal to negative 10x. Then the x is being multiplied by negative 10, so I need to divide by negative 10, so that will cancel out, and divide by negative 10 on the other side as well to keep it balanced. 40 divided by negative 10 is negative 4, so negative 4 is equal to x. That is our solution for this problem. 2 more to go. Number 7. This one and number 8 are both different than the ones that we did in our notes. So the reason I am including them in this video is so that you'll be able to do these types of problems, even though we didn't put an example like that in our notes. So, number 7, negative 2 equals v plus 8, all of that divided by 3. So if I divide my equation, I was a little wiggly there, sorry. If I divide the equation, negative 2 on the left side, v plus 8 divided by 3 on the right side. I'm going to focus on the right side because that's where my v is, that's my variable. So what's different about this one is we don't have just v divided by 3, it's v plus 8 divided by 3. So when I read out loud what is happening on that side, the last thing you hear me say, v plus 8 divided by 3, is the divided by 3. So that's the first thing that I need to get rid of. When I'm undoing the operations, I undo them basically in the reverse order that they happen. So if the last thing to happen is a divided by 3, the first thing I'm going to undo when I go backward is going to be the divided by 3. So to undo divided by 3, we multiply by 3. If I multiply by 3 on the right side, that's going to cancel the denominator out. So I won't have a fraction anymore. When I multiply by 3 on the left side, I'm going to do 3 times negative 2, and I'm going to get negative 6 equals, and now I don't have a denominator on the right anymore, so I just have a v plus 8. Then that becomes a super easy one-step problem. I'm going to take my plus 8 and I'm going to subtract 8 to get the v by itself. Subtract 8 on this side. In the calculator, negative 6 minus 8, I'm going to get negative 14 equals v, because this 8 and this negative 8 divide out, cancel out and become 0. So our solution is v equals negative 14. All right, our final example for this worksheet. We have 4 parentheses, 5 plus k, close parentheses, equals 68. So divide my equation here. And I have a 4 outside of a parentheses and then a 5 plus k inside the parentheses. So there's a couple of things I could do here. First thing that most people think of when they see parentheses like this is to distribute. So I can distribute the 4 through the parentheses, and then it should look like one of the other examples that I did. 4 times 5 will be 20. 4 times positive k will be positive 4k, and that will be equal to 68. So now it looks like the examples that we were doing before. 20 plus 4k. The constant term is the 20. It's a positive 20 because there's no symbol in front of it. So minus 20 on both sides. 4k equals 48. And then 4 times k, I need to divide by 4 to get rid of that 4 in front of the k. And then divide 48 by 4 also. So we've got k is isolated. K equals 48 divided by 4, which is 12. So k equals 12. And there you go. So that is one way of doing that problem. If that totally makes sense to you, feel free to do it that way every single time. I do want to show you a slightly different way to do it, which you might find easier. So you're welcome to do either one. You can put them both on your paper. If you wanted to put this one on the back, that would work too. So I'm going to erase it real quick and do the problem again, just showing you a different way to undo. All right. So instead of distributing through the parenthesis, to get rid of the parenthesis, I can think of what is it that I'm doing when I'm distributing. So when I'm distributing, I'm multiplying. And to undo multiplying, I can divide. So one thing I can do at the start is I can divide by 4, which will cancel out this 4 in front of the parentheses, or divide out the 4, which makes it 1. 4 divided by 4 is 1. And a 1 in front of a parenthesis isn't going to change it when I multiply it. So that would be leaving you with just 5 plus k. If I do divided by 4 on this side, I need to do divided by 4 on this side. So I need to know what 68 divided by 4 is, or go to my calculator. So on the left side, I'm going to have 5 plus k equals, when I do 68 divided by 4, I get 16. Hold on. Pause for a second. I get 17, not 16. And then now it's a super simple problem. I have 5 plus k. I want to get rid of the 5. I'm going to subtract it, so it will cancel out. Subtract 5 over here. K equals 12, which is the same answer we just got. So I can either distribute through the parentheses, or I could divide by the number in front of the parentheses to just get rid of it right at the beginning. And that makes the problem a lot simpler. This way makes it a 2-step problem. Divide by 4, subtract 5. Doing it the other way makes it a 3-step problem. So you really can do it either way. Whichever one makes more sense to you would be the one I would go with. This one saves a little bit of time. So if you're looking to get things done a little faster, you might want to use this method. That ends our video on solving 2-step equations. So feel free to go back and look at anything that doesn't make sense. Be sure to ask questions by sending me a message on Schoology, or find me in person, or you can ask a friend to explain anything that doesn't make sense. And if you're all set, you can work on the practice that follows. Good luck, and thanks again for watching.